Good morning, everybody. Well, today I'm going to discuss the analogy between Samudra Manthan and Samudra of the coronavirus as a part of series to study and discuss the management lessons from the stories of Hindu mythology. As a part of the series, today we are going to talk about the very first chapter, which is on analogy between Samudra Manthan and Samudra of the coronavirus. Well, everybody knows the story of the Samudra Manthan. In between the story, I'm going to draw the similarity between the terms that we can relate with the management lessons and that we can apply very easily in our day-to-day life as well. So, the story of the Samudra, that is coronavirus, Manthan, that is the process of vaccine development for coronavirus, the Devas, that is the Indra and the other divinities. In my story, the other stakeholders with good intentions were once cursed by the sage named Durvasa. In this case, we have the curse from mismanaged macro and micro environmental variables such that they lose their strength. The asuras, that is the stakeholders with the bad intentions, then win them in the battle and take the control of the whole universe. After getting defeated in the battle, the Devas go to the Lord Vishnu, the god, for help, who advises that only the nectar, in this case the vexin, which resides at the bottom of the celestial ocean of milk, that is Sheet and Sagar, that is milk and ocean, sometimes eluded to the Milky Way galaxy, can make them strong again. And they would become immortal. In this case, it will be longer life and better immunity. However, the ocean would need to be churned in order for the nectar to surface, and this was a task they couldn't do alone, considering they were bereft of energy. They would need to seek the help of demons and asuras for this, and with the layer of nectar, they can get this work done. So, nectar in this case is being related with the vaccine that everybody is working on in today's time. Churning is the process of making butter from milk, that is vigorously shaking the milk to separate the butter from the fat. The line has been drawn with the development in this case. Yashoda, the mother of Krishna, is often depicted in images where she is churning milk by pulling two ends of a rope tied to a wooden rod that is in a pot of milk. For the churning of the ocean, the Devas sought the help of the mountain Mandara. That is, in this case, it is the resources that we need for developing vaccine to serve as the churning rod. Vasuki, the king of snakes, the snake around Lord Shiva's neck, in this case, it is being compared with the resources again that we need for vaccine, was approached to serve as a rope for the churning and to be bound around the mountain Mandara. The Devas were to pull one end of the giant serpent and the Asuras the other. The demons, the Asuras, held the head of the snake while the Devas its tail. The churning went on for 1000 years. That is the time for developing vaccine. It may be just few months from now onwards. The analogy for further story will be drawn in due course of time on the basis of the future outcome, since as of now nobody knows what future outcome will be. Though all the corporates are trying hard to develop a vaccine in our country and globally as well. But I would like to continue the story and present my viewpoint with respect to the whole narration. The force of the churning was so great that the mountain began to sink. Lord Vishnu then took the form of a huge turtle, that is Kurma avatar, and like an island supported the mountain on his back. The Asuras turned pale due to the fumes and coming out of the mouths of Vasuki, the snake, as they were closer to the head. Then a terrible poison came out from the ocean. In this case, it could be the example of failed vaccine, as vaccine is going around the different levels of the trials. So this could be any sub part of the vaccine that is not producing very productive results. Lord Shiva swallowed the poison and his throat turned blue since then. A number of valuables, 14 in total, the byproducts in case of corona, which only time will tell, because as of now the vaccine has not been produced. So we really can't tell what will be the byproducts of this vaccine. But in case of Samudra Manthan, there were total 14 byproducts that emerged from the ocean, which were divided by the Devas and the Asuras. Kamdhenu, the wish-granting cow, was taken by Vishnu and given to the sages. Uches, Ravas, the seven-headed horse, was given to the demons, the Asuras, Airavata, the white elephant, was taken by Indra, the king of Devas. Parijat, the tree with the never fading blossoms, was taken by the Devas to Swarga or heaven. Varuni, the creator of wine or alcohol, was taken by Asuras. Then finally emerged goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, and she chose to marry Lord Vishnu. Also produced was Chandra, the moon, which adorned Lord Shiva's hair. Finally, Dhanvantari, the divine physician, emerged holding a pot of nectar. The Devas and the Asuras both began to fight over in it. Now, in this case, in recent case, it could be the conflict between the corporates or due to politics or due to self-interest, which as of now we do not know who these people could be. But certainly, people would want to have a bigger pie of this credit, which is going to come in a near future. Garuda, the Vishnu's eagle, adopted as the national emblem of Indonesia and the name of its national airline, took the pot and flew away. A few drops of nectar fell in Prayag, Allahabad, and three other places, that is, Haridwar, Ujjain, and Nasik, where the Kumbh Mela is celebrated every 12 years. One of the asuras got hold of the pot. The Devas then appealed to Vishnu, and he took the form of a beautiful woman, Mohini, and tried to distract the asuras. Volunteering to distribute the nectar to all of them, she gives some nectar to each of the Devas. Rahu, Ketu, and Asura took the form of Deva and joined the line of Devas and received the nectar, and they get the sip. Vishnu immediately cut off the head of the demon. Likewise, the government and the good stakeholders need to cut the demons, if any. As of now, we do not know who these people will be, if we want effective distribution and production of the vaccine. But it had become immortal in two parts, Rahu the head and the Ketu the body. Rahu swallows the sun and the moon at regular intervals, causing ellipses. By the time the rest of the asuras realized what was happening, that the beautiful Mohini was indeed Lord Vishnu, the nectar had been distributed to the Devas. The rejuvenated Devas were able to defeat asuras in battle and regain their glory. So, in this story, we got following management lessons that we can apply in our day to day life and ensure that we keep the virus at bay. The very first lesson is that we need to reuse the resources, that is, a mask, the sanitizers, and the other resources to keep the virus at bay. Instead of the great Vasuki and the mighty Mandura, this time we have these resources, masks, sanitizers, and other resources to keep the nectar and save ourselves from the coronavirus. Please remember, as and when the time changes, the problems will always be there. But the kind of resources that we need to fight with those problems will get a makeover. Like initially in the old ages, there was a problem of Samudra Manthan. In that case, we had the resources like Vasuki and the Mandara, but this time we need to have the other resources to fight the coronavirus. Like Lord Vishnu as well, we need to cut the cord of the negative entities to save the nectar. We do not know what form, what kind of these entities will be, but certainly as individuals, government, or as citizens, we need to be more aware about those negative entities. Third, be cautious like Devas to manage the negative effects of virus, and that is how we can save not only ourselves but the whole world from the negativities of the poison. So that was all for the story today. We'll be back with more stories in future. Thank you so much for listening, and thanks a lot.